Let's move over to a quick segment that's not really reactionary and more so just opinion based. And I want to know your beliefs, your thoughts. So let me know in the comments when I get to this one. But it's a new year, which means there's a lot of opportunity. There's a fresh slate for everybody in WWE, including the decision makers. So with that in mind, I wanted to just share my opinion here on this debut episode of Bell to Bell. Who are 5 WWE superstars that deserve a massive push in 2025? Now, a massive push could mean many different things when I'm talking here. And it doesn't all mean, hey, they need to go win a world championship. But in their lane, I think they deserve a push. Let's start at number 5. What happened to Austin Theory's story with Grayson Waller? The split has been teased. The split has garnered reactions in different cities, and the split has never been followed up on. They were off TV for a little while, and then they recently reappeared and lost in a pseudo tag titled tournament on Smackdown. And that was it. So where do they go from here? I think Austin Theory needs to have that feud with Grayson Waller. I think Austin Theory needs to split from Grayson Waller and then see where it takes him. I mean, the kid is immensely talented. He sells better than most in the entire company. And I think that when you see where he's been the last year, you see the spots that he's been placed in over the past year, they're all seeming like tests, right? Austin Theory was in the ring with The Rock last year. He was in the ring at SummerSlam with Jelly Roll, and he put Jelly Roll over in a way that not many others could because of his athleticism and because of the way that he was able to just handle that situation, not to mention many others. It seems like if somebody from outside of WWE comes in and you're trying to make them look good on television, you put them next to Austin Theory, and Theory makes them look great. Now, WWE does have a history of taking their best sellers and not giving them appropriate pushes. Dolph Ziggler fell into that for years. I don't want that for Theory. I don't want that for Austin Theory, because I think everybody was starting to catch on to that potential feud, that potential breakup between him and Grayson Waller. Let's see it. Let's get the payoff, and let's start Austin Theory 2.0 on the WWE main roster. I think it's past time. Number 4. This guy has been in the title picture a bit the last 2 years. And when I say that, I mean the world title picture. Feuded with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship a while back. Got into the title picture against Gunther for Saturday night's main event return. That's Finn Balor. Finn Balor has not won a singles title since 2022. Now, personally, I don't think he needs to win a title. But I do think he needs to be in main event feuds after the eventual split with Judgment Day, right? This has been, again, another drawn out story. The WWE loves long-term storytelling. I think once Finn Balor officially splits, and whether that's just him on his own or whether that's him and JD McDonough tag team in the entire Monday Night Raw roster, I think that Finn Balor needs to be in more main event feuds. That's feuds against CM Punk. That would make it interesting for me. That's feuds against Jey Uso, which would make it interesting. That's another feud against Seth Rollins, maybe a feud against Drew McIntyre, or maybe you move him over to SmackDown. And he feuds with guys like Cody. He feuds with guys like Randy Orton when he comes back. Maybe he gets into a feud with Roman Reigns. Again, that's a little harder. Reigns is a little bit more untouchable. They need to be a little bit more careful about who feuds with Roman Reigns. But regardless, I think Finn Balor deserves a push. I think what he's done in his time with the Judgment Day has been vastly entertaining. Have I enjoyed watching him win tag gold with JD McDonough? Yes, because I think that elevates JD McDonough. But I would love to see Finn Balor be out on his own a little bit more and get that push. Number 3, let's go to the tag division. The New Day hasn't held tag titles in 4 years. They're Hall of Famers. They needed something new. They needed a switch up, and they got the switch up, right? They had the heel turn. And since then, where's the follow-up? The Raw tag division is in desperate need of a bump. SmackDown got it with Motor City Machine Guns, and with the heel turn of DIY, and with the increased utilization of teams like Los Garza, of teams like Pretty Deadly, of teams like the Street Profits. Raw needs a bump in their tag division. Judgment Day finally said they're going after the titles. They get a title match next week. Great. War Raiders are holding the belts. I like that team. American Made on Monday finally said they're going after the tag titles, because why else would you watch the Creed brothers if not for the tag division? A title run, though, from a heel New Day would do wonders for those titles. I still back the fact and back the idea of splitting up the tag titles at WrestleMania last year. The follow-up since then, though, has been disappointing. SmackDown starting to get a revitalization. I think giving New Day a push and giving them the titles as heels would do wonders for that division, would do wonders for the New Day and this new look, this new feel of the New Day, and would do wonders for the entire Raw tag team division. Number 2, this guy was the first round pick of Friday Night SmackDown. And since then, he's had amazing matches with pretty much everybody on SmackDown. Was great in the best of 7 storyline with Andrade that eventually weaved its way into the United States title picture. But I think Carmelo Hayes is going to have a big 2025. I think he needs a big 2025 because he came up to the main roster. He got that push. He got that bump as the first round pick. Since then, not very many big wins. Like I said, I liked the feud with Andrade. I think it carried well. I think it showcased him well. And honestly, whenever they had that triple threat between Andrade and LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes for the US title, that's when I finally started to buy into the LA Knight United States title reign. And then, of course, it immediately ended after that with the return of Shinsuke Nakamura. But I think that it should be a big year for Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. I don't think he needs to change brands. I think he just needs to start taking things over on Friday nights. And I think it starts with him dethroning Shinsuke Nakamura. I like this new version of Shinsuke. I like the fact that he came back and almost immediately got the title put on him. But I do think that maybe it's a WrestleMania change. Maybe it's a first SmackDown after WrestleMania change. But I do think a long United States title reign for Carmelo Hayes is needed in 2025. So he is at number 2. And at number 1, this guy was part of the biggest feud in 2025. He just was the manager, technically. I guess you could call him that. You could call him a lot of other things in that feud, but it's Dominic Mysterio. Not much in-ring to speak of over the last really several months. He did have that quick storyline where he was saying, maybe I should go after the World Heavyweight Championship, and then obviously lost to Damian Priest, and that furthered the Judgment Day storyline with Damian Priest. Guy still gets crazy heat. He's young. He has time. There's no rush, but after he had that North American title reign a couple years ago at this point, there hasn't really been much to speak of. His WrestleMania match last year was just a thrown together tag team. Didn't like that. I think that Dominic Mysterio has done a great job on TV. I think he's done great character work. Obviously was part of that big feud between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. He was the inflection point of that feud and carried it while Rhea Ripley was injured. But I think it's time he gets some in-ring work. I think it's time that he gets a push in the ring and get some opportunities here in 2025. So there's my list. Who do you think deserves a push in 2025? For me, the list goes Austin Theory at 5, Finn Balor at 4, New Day at 3, Carmelo Hayes at 2, and then Dominic Mysterio at number 1. If you like my list, let me know. If you hate my list, let me know. And let me know in the comment section who you think deserves a push in 2025.